I know, isn't that terrible?
No, it's fantastic.
So I'll talk to Heidi then. I think Jose talked to her about covering or something like that, and I'm like, Jose, don't. She talked him out of it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's not a deal.
I know. I know.
Temperature on site, I haven't looked lately, but just looks hot.
About November.
Yeah, probably. And maybe after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Where is everybody?
I got a text from Margaret. She said they're running late.
It's almost 2:45. It's almost 2:45. It is 2:45.
Yeah, it is 2:45.
She's with Jeremy, so they're going to be late.
Well, Jeremy was stuck sitting outside talking to John. John was leading, Brower was leading.
No doubt, yeah.
I just walked by and said, go to lunch now. He said, okay, thanks. And John went flying off his hood or something.
No one else is out there.
Hi. Hi.
So I have no idea where anybody else is.
How you doing? You guys have like a county matters, right?
That's what I'm sitting on right now. So the only other thing I wanted to mention about the velocity is that there, your friends, that's connected to free velocity fiber right now. So, yeah, velocity is giving that connection to the library for nothing.
You're talking about 110 meg connection?
I don't know about
That seems unlikely.
Really, because I think that's what he told me, was that they were still
The Wi-Fi
providing.
I'm connected to, it said earlier when I was on, it was 110 meg connection.
Well, that's what it would be. It's not throttle on either side. So it probably is 110. I mean, it's an unthrottled fiber connection.
Wow. Probably, they just have to switch.
Well, he does that to the Performing Arts Center and the museum and all that.
I know that we have some free connections through Velocity, but nowhere near that fast.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I say, he's connected up to fiber, and I think it's unthrottled, and I think it's 100.
Wow.
When I've checked it. Anyway, if in fact you guys start dealing with that end of things, I think you need to sit down and make sure that all the players are, if they're using velocity fiber, they either should be continuing to be friends, or the county should take it over or something. But I mean, that whole infrastructure is kind of up, like, nobody knows for sure what it is.
I see.
So, like I say, he and I pulled the cable for that connection right there.
And that was a couple months ago, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
We pulled this new, so I've got, so that, we got, that's Velocities, that's the library's router right there. So, and I've got enough cable upstairs inside here that we
Yeah,
could
you told me about
actually,
that.
we could actually put the connection over there in that corner if we needed to. So. And that just, wound up in there, so it could just be pulled over if that wasn't moved. At one point, I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to have a permanent video
Or take it over.
station sitting in that little corner back there. So we could just leave everything there and have a couple of cameras around that are connected. Like this camera's connected to here
They have no respect.
using these fiber.
Using that?
Either that, I mean, it's not a converter on both ends because of the,
We used to-
USB.
Yeah.
We used to use those JTAG
I found the
extenders.
process
We had
thing
a
I
pair of
could,
those for this.
Right.
Big whopper.
But they were, we had some issues with
Yeah.
it, now we're on a different kind.
This one's been fine, but the regular USB from here to there it wouldn't carry it. There's not enough
Yeah.
signal coming in these cameras. So.
That's a long stretch for
Yeah.
USB. I think officially it's only 16 feet USB.
Yeah, they'll sell you longer cables.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it'll work. I think you can sometimes.
I'm
do it
sorry, it's
up-
not USB, it's HDMI.
Oh, I see.
It's HDMI that's coming across, not USB.
But that's got a pretty short limitation on the standard.
Right,
too.
yeah.
Sometimes you can get away with more, but
Depends on what your sources are. Like say those cameras,
but there's a standard of it, just like there is with USB.
yeah, I think
There's
if
a
you're coming, I think
definition.
if you're coming out of a computer or something, I have more distance, but with the cameras, I had to put that in to make it go. But with that stuff, we can move it anywhere we want to.
Yeah, but you don't know how many people do that. I used to get emails from Richard and a Goose. I,
Is that?
write people back, cool.
What is this stuff?
Mhm.
50 feet for HDMI.
Okay,
That's the standard, I guess.
well, 50, we wouldn't go that far from here to there, so, off of that camera.
But yeah, it's probably like you said, a
Yeah.
camera issue versus a computer or whatever.
Right.
And USB is 16.4 feet.
Just makes it not worth it. Well, I understand that, but if I remember the day we the 500 permits were sitting over there. I asked him if he could handle 500.
Yeah.
And he started flicking his eyes at me. Oh yeah, that's not a problem. We can.
But that was all.
Jerry, are we already live?
Well, you're live, but that's all it's showing.
Okay, the microphone's on?
Yeah, the microphones are on, yeah.
Okay, it's probably gonna be another 5 minutes at least before
Yeah.
the staff board.
That's good. Go fall right into this one. They'll supervise us. But what a great job, what a great job you're doing in spite of me sitting next to you. God, have fun. Oh, don't.
Oh, okay.
The first time we had 2 subjects, I thought a couple of them were so low. Margaret had to stop the meeting in the school.
Right.
Blame it to the what happened next. Kids did good today. Since he went back. And she just likes to sort of all work something out.
I think today was a sign. So I'm gonna
Yeah, that's what? Would like a transfer. Ordinance in the next. 1.5 days. Work out something. There's always.
I didn't. I had a meeting with California Trout Association.
Was it constructed?
What are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
Do they take positions on their cabinet?
It's just
They do,
Oh,
but
really?
they,
Yeah, you're not.
they're
It is just a
willing
weekend
to,
Oh, really?
Yeah, they basically abandoned their dreams.
I knew they had dropped it, I knew they dropped the other one.
Write some
Yes.
letters to get money from.
Is it working good? or-
They do outdoor.
Pretty works as good as Chrome.
Okay.
As it is with Chrome.
Yeah, okay.
So if we prioritize
So, I mean, that's a good thing.
Trails.
Now Microsoft will be
Things
choosing
that
Chrome code
lead
base
to
instead of
cold
trying to
water,
do that the wheel
trout, or
coming
salmon.
together.
Right.
So, and that's, I think it's
No, eventually that could be a good thing. So.
How much money is
So they threw in the towel, huh?
Yeah.
After all those years.
that? Region.
Well, the adoption really wasn't happening.
Yeah, he.
All that fighting was-
Referred to it as all California.
I looked up on that's over seven, that's about 17. I don't know.
I would guess that.
Was that? Oh,
No, I think it is, but for us, I know that it's just.
The happy.
Well, he's got 4 weeks to go.
Did you cut the video, Derek?
yeah, something's happened here. Oh, I know what happened, okay. I forgot to take this off asleep.
Ah,
Yeah, I was there, he was just in the night, and I sat right out there. So that was fun. That's my first hurricane.
No, I don't want to do that, that's what I want to do.
I apologize, I can't do this.
Forgetting which one of these I want to run.
What else are you gonna do?
Exactly, it's like, oh, this would keep me busy. It's like, okay.
All right, too many buttons to push.
So then we moved into Illinois.
That's just.
It was different.
Back with a smile.
You don't know because I'm a math
I just grumpy. It was way nicer than the friend taking for a walk.
You get my cheeseburger?
What? Yeah, it's my car. Yes.
I didn't hit send.
It just depends on today. And I know two of you, you know we're not done yet. We have a full day ahead.
That was, wow, that one we did.
Did you forget, perhaps?
That still doesn't mean I'm going.
Your first and probably last hurricane.
Oh, that's where a road district is formed.
Yeah, special district, sort of.
Should be a road district.
I believe so.
What district?
Road district. I'm your bank account. if the county can repair a section of the road, it's like it would be.
That might just be your record,
Yeah, we don't have any, but yes, you could have a road district.
Get it over.
Yeah, I guess it's so much.
It's
fun.
for-
Don't worry, Jeremy, you'll be on laptop before you know it.
It's
Five one form a district.
Wait.
Yeah, so it's time to see.
Oh, again?
It's just, it's part of it's just.
What happened?
What? Fire, DC, fire. Sorry, Jeremy can't go left, though. He's got a meeting too.
He's out left, okay.
Yeah, we get to
He is. Oh, yeah.
Meeting is resumed. We'll begin with reports and announcements. Item 4.1. Are there any reports from department heads?
Good afternoon, Shelley Nelson, HR Director. Wanted to announce that open enrollment for employees to make changes to any of their medical plans will be September 8th to October 9th. And we received the PERS medical rates for 2021 just last week. They have all increased a little bit. Dental and vision rates have not increased. HR is calculating these rates with the employees' negotiated coverages and plan to have these out to all the employees by next week. And in rough calculations right now, it appears that the PERS Select plan will remain a no-cost bundled medical package, which includes dental and vision to our employees. So I'm happy to announce that. Good. Any questions?
Those interested in Aflac, when does that open, about the same time?
So open enrollment would be all insurance plans and options. Yeah, any changes that anybody wants to make, that's the time to do it. So we'll be getting education and materials out here by next week. Great. Okay, great.
Any other reports from department heads, either in the room or on Zoom? No further reporting. Item 4.12, report from County Administrative Officer.
Nothing of significant to report, however, I would just like to dispel some of the rumors
Thank you.
that have been going around that we are closing the library. We went through very extreme budget deliberation, and the library is not being closed, nor is it being cut. The only thing being cut for our library would be some of our OPEB charges, but that doesn't affect the operation. So just to settle everybody down, we are not closing the library.
Thank you. Clearing that up and no closure.
All right, moving on. Report from members of the board. Any supervisor like to start?
No out-of-county travel?
Just Zoom call, CSAC, COVID. I mentioned the chamber working together on the mask messaging. I think that's it.
Supervisor Groves?
No out-of-county travel. I'm trying to read my own notes here.
All right. I had a RCRC meeting on the 14th. Main action item highlights was the opposition of Proposition 15, the support of Proposition 16, opposition of Proposition 17, the neutral position for Proposition 18, and an opposition for Proposition 19. If anyone would like further details on those propositions, I'm happy to convey those offline. There were no other main updates from RC.
I would just say that all of us at CSAC are going through that process through each committee before it hits our board. We haven't done that yet, so.
All right, if there is no other reporting out, we'll move on to county matters. These items include non-routine or controversial matters that are listed in alphabetically by department. A member of the board or staff may request that an item be heard out of order. Anyone requesting change of order? Seeing none, we'll continue to County Administrative Office. Item 5.1, approve a budget adjustment for fiscal year 2019-2020 for County Council, Department 1600, decreasing revenues by $17,608 and increasing services and supplies by $20,500. And approve a budget adjustment for fiscal year 2019-2020 in contingency, Department 9901, decreasing appropriations by $38,108, increase in general fund appropriation in the amount of $38,108. Current contingency balance is $216,424.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. I'll take this one. During budget developments, we do our best to predict expenditures and revenues, and in our 1920 budget, we came in lower than anticipated in our projections, and some of our expenses were higher than anticipated. We had a couple investigations, private investigations on personnel that exceeded what we anticipated. So this time we're asking for the budget appropriations to make that account whole.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing none. We'll go to public comment. All right. Is there any public comment on this item? Hearing none.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Tina, please pull the board.
Supervisor Finley?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
Supervisor Groves?
Aye.
Supervisor Brown?
Aye. Human Resources, item 5.2, pursuant to Trinity County Code Section 2.60.41, parentheses A, authorize hiring candidate number 00379 as a senior planner at range M229, step D in the Planning Department, Cannabis Division, effective August 18th of 2020. Approximate cost and salary and benefits per month for a senior planner at A step is $8,495, and at D step is $9,660.
Thank you. Shelley Nelson, HR Director. The Planning Department, the Cannabis Division, ran a recruitment to fill a long-standing vacancy of a senior planner. And this position, just to let you understand, requires a bachelor's degree and 2 years of responsible work experience comparable to an associate planner. This particular applicant that we're requesting scored the highest among the interview panel. Not only has a bachelor's degree in geological science, also has a master's in earth sciences, and over 16 years of professional level experience that includes cannabis, professional consulting, permitting and compliance, land development, project and program management, minerals and energy, executive leadership, environmental compliance, and public relations. 10 of those 16 years of service was with the federal government and natural resources and forestry, holding positions as program manager, forest planner, deputy district ranger, and acting district ranger. Of course, this applicant's education and experience proved to be an asset to both the department and serving the public, and we would feel it well qualifies for a D step.
Thank you, Shelley. Supervisors, do you have any questions? Supervisor Moore? Supervisor Groves, any questions?
No. No, I would just say this will help address some of the things we heard today, having an extra person capacity in that department.
That
So
would be
finally,
this is what we're going for.
mhm.
Well, congratulations. Well, almost.
Yep.
If there's no other questions, we'd entertain a motion. Oh,
Second.
is there public comment here?
Mhm.
Sorry.
No one else.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Tina, please pull the board.
Supervisor Finley?
Aye.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
Supervisor Groves?
Aye.
Supervisor Brown?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item, 5.3, Treasurer Tax Collector. Approve a budget adjustment for fiscal year 2019-2020 for the Treasurer Tax Collector, Department 1350, decreasing revenues by $59,225, decreasing salaries and benefits by $5,556, and decreasing services and supplies by $20,882, and approve a budget adjustment for fiscal year 2019-2020 for Contingency Department 9901, decreasing appropriations by $32,727, increase in general fund appropriation in the amount of $32,787. Current contingency balance is $178,316.
Hi, my name is Cindy Till. I'm Deputy Treasurer. I'm not very good at this. I am here for item 5.3. The item before you is a request of contingency funds. The reason this request is needed is because of COVID. We are not allowed to perform items we would normally do, such as seizures and tax sales. We receive a large portion of our revenue from those activities. In September, some of those restrictions are going to be lifted. So with that, do you have any questions?
Supervisors, questions?
So how do you know they're going to be left in September?
My understanding is that there's been some, the government is going to do some of them. I know as far as with the seizures like the FTBs, which is the French acid tax, they've already started to allow some.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the board? Is there any public comment on this item? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Tina, please call the board.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
Supervisor Bennett?
Aye.
Supervisor Groves?
Aye.
Supervisor Brown?
Aye.
Thank you.
We'll be going into closed session.
Subsequent.
Oh, I apologize.
Where's Rick?
He's right back there.
This is a subsequent item. Transportation Department.
Chair, I overlooked something, and council said I could bring it up in my board report, because I forgot during the item, and it involves Rick. Margaret, am I able to tackle that here?
Chair Flavor.
Chair?
Is this related to the item, or is this a separate item?
Separate. You know what, I'll just talk to Rick offline, and yeah, I'm not gonna, it's nothing to do with my vote, but it's some information, so we'll deal with it later.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Set up, Rick. You didn't set up.
Afternoon. I was requested to look into what it would take to allow for dining along the sidewalk or along a county road or state highway. There was some path laid out for me beforehand, so I was given a contact person. I called Caltrans, and they essentially said, yes, we have a program, but what we're going to do is we're going to there's been some waiver of some requirements that we've had on both the state and federal level. So what we're going to do is we're going to delegate that authority to the local government and allow you guys to be the ones to make the decision that you want to allow for dining outside and from restaurants. One of the things, though, that they did emphasize very clearly is that if you do proceed forward with dining, it can't be specific to a company. It has to be general public can sit in the chair whether they're dining or not. It's supposed to be in business. It's supposed to be operating as a takeout. So what you do is you go inside, you get your food, and you come outside and you can eat in front of the business establishment. In the memo, I did write kind of a little bit of a memo stating some of the main points. I did have 2 attachments. One attachment was dealing with the rules of, I'll call it rules of engagement, and then the other one is the rules that I have to comply with for ADA, which were mainly that I have to make sure I keep a 48-inch clear path of travel, but we can reduce it to 32 inches for a set of about the length of the table so that one person can get around. And you can only do that about every 4 feet, so with 6 foot separation, we should be okay on that. As I had mentioned, some of the important rules is, as I said, the permits can be issued to the cities and counties, and what we do is we tell Caltrans essentially where we permit it at. Locations are limited to conventional highways with existing sidewalks. We don't have a ton of sidewalks in Weaverville, or not in Weaverville, but in Trinity County in general. But there are some things that we'll look at if there is business that comes to and say in Hayfork where there isn't sidewalks, that maybe we can work out some provisions to do that. Installation is only allowed above ground. You can't come in and bolt down your pop-up tent or anything like that. You're responsible for keeping it free of trash, and we can't close a parking spot or a travel lane to set up this dining type or seating arrangement. And then in there, we have permittee may install temporary seating to serve the public visiting business in the area. The public seating must be open for general public use and support the needs of the community. And one of the other things is they're supposed to post a sign saying it is public seating. Public seating is only allowed where wide sidewalks with excessive space are available beyond the requirements of ADA clearance, and that's why I included the ADA rules. Vending, sales, transactions, table service, and similar other actions or activities in the public seating area are strictly prohibited. No portion of a transaction may take place within state right-of-way. For example, the customer may purchase takeout to go at the restaurant and use the public seating to consume the food, but the restaurant's employee may not collect payment from the customer on the public seating area. So I want to be clear about that, but I think maybe taking an order and delivering an order might, I'm not going to say. Public seating may include benches, tables, bike racks, plan areas, but not include any fixed objects. Temporary tables and benches must be distinct from those nearby. Businesses may not include the same or similar color schemes marking logos or any identifier for a particular business. All installations must be heavy enough, or other measures must be implemented to ensure that they are not moving in the travel lanes, highway users, or business property. And again, public seating must be installed per ADA, and there must be a sign identifying the, there it says it may include a sign identifying the local public agency permittee. All forms of advertising are prohibited, and the permittee, who's the person, we or the permittee, may not ensure or must ensure that nobody is being charged for the use of public seating areas. So it kind of makes it hard to charge for an encroachment permit. Anyways, some of the rules, they apply to the county. We get, what I was planning on doing was asking them to supply a outline of essentially where they're planning on lining up the tables, how big the tables are, and what the aisle width of walking area will be for people walking past, so that I can make sure that they have clearance. I'll send our encroachment permit personnel probably about every other week or 3 weeks to just make sure that they're still complying with it, that they haven't turned things around and blocked off access. But I am required to notify Caltrans 72 hours before they set it up. And this is only available to these folks for 120 days or when the public emergency declaration is ended. So I had a couple proposals in here, which was essentially just prove the general concept of this, authorize me to work with Caltrans to issue encroachment permits on state right-of-way, and then also to waive the fees for those permits. They're commonly about $100, and I don't have the authority to waive the permit fees, but you guys do, so that's my request. answer any questions.
Supervisor Questions?
Public right of way, Caltrans has it, that includes bike lanes, I suppose.
Yeah.
So no tables and bike lanes. What about turnouts?
Uh,
I mean, I can just see Highway 3.
No, they're actually, they say, in
Okay.
where sidewalks are located, so.
Okay, so Hayfork doesn't have
That's
a
what
lot of
it
sidewalks.
And I was saying that at the beginning, so.
Right.
That, I'm gonna have to figure something out if I get a request in that area.
Okay, and how is this enforced?
Essentially what they've done is they've asked the counties to enforce it.
That's what yes.
And so we have to go out and ask them to be compliant,
Or,
or we pull the permit and say, you're doing it unpermitted, and I'll let Caltrans deal with it from there. It's, they're trying to be accommodating.
I
as
understand
much
that.
as
Is
they
it
can.
worth it in your opinion?
Sorry?
Is it worth it in your opinion? Okay, never mind. I'll listen to
Whatever I can do to help,
Thank you.
whatever I can do to help the merchants
Thank you.
in this time, I would like to reach out and try to help them.
Okay.
Thank you.
As long as they're not swinging from rafters and blocking the sideway.
Skateboarding and everything else.
Yeah.
This has a lot of worms in this can. But
Well, anytime you're providing an interim policy in an emergency situation, usually is full of ways to get around it.
maybe we could just make it only if we.
That's fine.
Sorry about that. No Mad Rivers.
Got the burger bar to worry about.
I know.
I do have a couple of questions. I'm certainly for the waiving the fee for their permit. These restaurants are really the most impacted of the latest order, where they can only be outside and or takeout. They can't serve inside at all. So some restaurants are managing better than others. Others are struggling to find outdoor space to at least keep their numbers going and keep open. So now ABC allows you to actually take alcohol with your takeout order.
Yeah, you can't consume alcohol in the state right away. I've
Okay.
included the laws to that, but there has been a request to waive that policy, but that policy has not been waived yet.
Okay, and then this, I guess it'll be kind of a quasi gray area, wink, because the restaurants have to serve outside. They're trying to build capacity by finding any table space they can put outside. So I get a takeout restaurant, a very casual one. You could just say, hey, you could sit anywhere, but somewhere like Cafe on Main is a little upscale. People are used to being served. They can't be served at these tables. They can just kind of do takeout and sit there. That's the only one that comes to mind.
That's what it sounds like.
they are-
Does there have to be?
That is the way I'll read it to you word for word. It says vending, sales, transaction, table service, and other similar areas.
Hang on. That's the Caltrans gods messing with you.
We know you don't have any sidewalks.
You don't let this thing in our district.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, right.
Vending, sales, transactions, table service, and other similar areas in public seating areas are strictly prohibited. No portion of a transaction may take place within state right-of-way. For example, a customer may purchase takeout or to-go at the restaurant and use the public seating, but The restaurant's employee may not collect payment from the customer on the seating area. Okay. The way I read that is whatever do they do to get to where they get to when that person has the bill, pay the bill inside.
Got it, right.
But you're not allowed inside.
Maybe now inside to pick up your to-go.
Yeah,
You can for takeout.
you're to go, you can
Go
go.
inside to pay.
Yeah. Okay,
Probably the best way to handle it.
Yeah.
Is similar to like what they do down in the Mexican restaurant. You'll order, go sit out at the table, and they bring it out to you.
all right.
You pay inside.
And does somebody just go to your office and fill out some paperwork and?
That's how I plan on having it. Is I'll need a sketch of what they are proposing. And I'll probably have them sign something committing to keeping ADA access available. And that if it changes, we'll let them know. But it's very simple, straightforward. And, again, they need 72 hours. So
Okay.
I can notify council.
All right, that's all I have.
What about county right away?
That's St. Paul's.
Same policy? Sure.
Just to make it easy.
We can test this.
Any further questions for Rick? Are there any public comments?
I do, just to take off Supervisor Grove's question, this would apply to county
Yes.
right away, okay.
And I did say in there, both county and Caltrans right away. Can you sell things? I don't think we're gonna have the same restrictions. But for now, just to get it going.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Let's let it under discussion. I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Did the public get to speak?
No.
I mentioned public comment.
Okay, thank you. I just was.
The motion is to approve the subsequent item. Shall I read the item as a summary, or should we give it a number? This would be the subsequent item.
I believe we just listed the subsequent items.
Okay.
Remember that?
So I move that we take action to authorize businesses to provide outside dining on the sidewalks within the state highway system. Do I need to say state and county?
Well, here, let me read it. And it's just approve the general concept of sidewalk dining for businesses fronting state and county highways. Authorize the director of transportation issue enforcement agreements on both state and county highways to issue these permits, to permit these uses, and to authorize the fees to be waived for these permits.
All right, there you have it, Chair.
Okay. We have a motion and a second.
Supervisor Finley?
Yes.
Supervisor Morris?
Yes.
Supervisor Groves?
I actually wanted some discussion, but since I didn't get any, I'll say no.
Supervisor Brown?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you just excluded the whole county except for Weirville from being next on county roads.
No.
What? No.
No, it's the entire county.
Yeah.
I was
Plus,
joking.
no, the whole county doesn't have sidewalks except for Weirville.
Hayfork has a short distance in front of the Mormon church and the library.
Right, but not in front of any of your restaurants.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Road
Well,
roundabout.
that's a state road anyway.
You know what we didn't include?
The winery?
Federal roads.
Hey, let's move on to the next item.
Sorry.
So I'm confused.
Let's move on to the next item, we can talk about it afterwards. We can have discussion after the vote.
Did we vote? We did.
Yeah, we voted.
voted.
It's a done deal.
It
You didn't
passed.
vote.
Yeah, it passed.
Okay, well, that concludes today's meeting, except for a closed session. Item 6.1, Government Code Section 54954.5E, Public Employee Evaluation, County Administrative Officer, and 6.2, Government Code Section 54956.9B, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, Number of Cases 1, Is there any public comment on these?
There's a subsequent as well, the public employee appointment position attorney.
And an additional, this is a closed session subsequent item, Government Section Code 54954.5E, Public Employee Appointment, Dave Brady, Interim District Attorney. Are there any public comments on Zoom? Phone?